I'm Sandy Folsom. I'm the director of the Wilton School, and I'm here with Lori Braddock, who is the teacher for the Advanced Sugar Artistry class, where students will learn to embellish and enhance their skills learned in the sugar artistry class. Lori, what medium are you working with?
Today I'm using isomalt. In the advanced class, the students learn on both regular sugar and isomalt, which is a patented sugar substitute. Isomalt is nice to use because it doesn't absorb moisture and it can be used in very high humidity climates, and it's also very durable and will last for a long time.
What techniques are involved?
During that class, we go all the way from basics of doing flowers and leaves and up through bows, ribbons, and eventually go on to blowing balls and making abstract designs.
Are you going to show us something today?
Sure. I'm going to make a simple rose, and that's what you'd be learning practically the first day of the class. I pull the isomalt. When it's soft, it's got to be soft like putty. I'm going to form the inner part of the rose, and I have to keep the bulk of the isomalt warm under a heating lamp, otherwise it would be too hard to work with. It sets up very quickly, and so you have to have it nice and pliable when you use it, and then as soon as you have it out there on the mat, it'll get hard. So I'm pulling 3 of the inner petals. I use a little bit of heat to attach so I get a good seam, and now I'm going to do a larger petal, which is done with 2 fingers, and it's a little bit of a different pulling technique. I use my thumb. I bend back corners, and then I assemble by heating one end and attaching like so. Now I put it into a container that has plastic wrap so that the petals don't collapse in on the center of the rose. We do all of the petal work and put it right on the flower as opposed to making them up in advance. And the reason for that is because the rose is kind of like done like a pinwheel. So one petal is always put underneath the one in front of it. So you want to have it kind of warm when you're doing it. And you do need an open flame so that you can attach. And you can see after a couple it's beginning to form. And then you use a little bit of plastic wrap in something. That's just so that the petals don't collapse. I'm cutting for the ease of doing it, but you could also do it all by hand without scissors. The nice thing about sugar artistry is that it's completely handmade. We don't use molds for this, so everything that we do is formed by hand, and that makes every single piece individual. And when students do it, their roses all look individual too, and it's very, very nice.
Gives them their own personality.
And as long as it looks like a rose, we're happy, but they can make smaller ones, larger ones. And, you know, it's very nice because it really is a handcrafted art form. Now, I don't necessarily count the amount of petals as I would if I were doing gum paste or something else, because sugar is kind of a fantasy medium. When I get done, it'll look more like blown glass than it will any kind of a frosting. It's fully edible, and it's you know, a really beautiful, beautiful medium. And so when we get the petals on so that it looks like a rose and it's big enough to what we want, we call it done. And students are very happy because they'll get their flower within minutes of learning how to do the technique, and you can do the flowers for a whole cake just within an hour or so before your event. And you know, not have to wait overnight or anything for it to harden.
What else can students hope to accomplish?
In addition to the roses that I just demonstrated, students will be doing a variety of other flowers, such as a calla lily, and they'll also be learning bows, ribbons, some vine and leaf designs, and also abstract flowers and abstract designs and patterns that are done in the kitchen and with various techniques. They'll use those to do a 3-tiered cake as a final project, and they'll get to take that home and keep it for a display.
Thanks, Lori, for sharing with us what takes place in the Advanced Sugar Artistry class. I think it gives students, prospective students that is, a better insight as to what they are going to learn and can do after the finish of the class.